Taurus, if you consider, Adaya is 8 and Vyaya is 11. So income is 8 and expenditure is 11. So they might use up their credit cards too much. They might spend too much and end up with some debts. But if you try to take care since beginning of the year and try to plan well, you might at least try to save some money. And Rajapuja is 7 and Avmana is 5. So many people are in your favor. Many people try to support you in all sorts of situations. Very few people oppose you in anything or in any decision which you take. And Jupiter is in the 10th house for most part of the year. So, and considering Shani in the 9th house, it might have some bad impact in your career. And Rahu is in the 1st house and Ketu is in the 7th house. So if you consider career perspective this year in your job, you have to be very cautious and very careful. Never try to point out any source of others' mistakes. Try to make sure that you're concentrating on your job. Don't waste any of your time. Try not to waste time during the work hours by doing something else which is not at all related to your job or which is not at all needed for your job. So don't just try to browse the internet or watch any movies or watch your phone while you're in the working hours. Try to make sure you do justice to the 8-hour or a 9-hour work period which you have, and by concentrating on your work and try to be sincere in your work, and by delivering good results, your job might be stable. But considering a new job is not favorable this year for Taurus. And in finance perspective, you might see some huge expenditure, some unknown expenditure. Could be due to kids' education or your regular lifestyle or due to some purchases which you make. But try to make sure they're not beyond your capabilities. The health life, it's gonna be normal this year. You might not experience any bad health, but try to make sure you maintain that stable health. And in the family relationships, you might see some unexpected clashes or unexpected arguments, some heated debates kind of situations with your family members, especially your wife. So make sure whenever you argue with your spouse, make sure you don't make it too big of an argument. Try to cut it as small as possible so you don't try to extend anything, and try to talk as minimal as possible so you don't end up starting any arguments, and try to talk very politely and spend some time with your family. And the Shanti for Taurus is to recite Gauri Ashtotram or Uma Ashtotram this year, like worshipping goddess Parvati or Gauri, and then chanting Vishnu Sahasranam. Chant as many as times as possible, or chant at least once every day. By chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, your financial life or your job career is going to be stable. And by reciting or praying to Gauri or Uma or Parvati, your family life is going to be stable, so you can have a stable family life and stable relationships.
ఈ వీడియో గనుక మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే లైక్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి, సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయడం మాత్రం మర్చిపోకండి. మా వీడియో నోటిఫికేషన్స్ మీకు రావాలంటే బెల్ ఐకాన్ ని క్లిక్ చేయండి.